Motors.
That part, yeah.
Which one? Okay. If you go in, look at the ceiling. In the all plaster. Have a look. Yeah. It's like and because they get the paintbrush. I get what I want that way.
That and you get to mark
Because
what else
each good part of the building is good. But once they've put a cornice over it, have a look at my place. You see a cornice between the two sheets? That's to cover any movement. Because the building is 100% perfect, isn't it? So they used to put a cornice over it. Now, they want to save money. So they cut it right up, fill it right to the edge, and then they fill it, but it doesn't always quite line up. And I've been to a brand new place, I wanted to see the way.
Yeah.
Is it wooden, brick, wooden? Every 10 years you've got to repaint it. I'll tell you that. That's why brick. Weatherboard, 10 years you've got to repaint it.
Yes, let's crack on, let's rock and roll.
Plaster. What they call drywall. It's called drywall. Not plaster. We call it plaster because it's a sheet of paper. You know what? When I was a kid, we used to get these rubber molds. And we mix up this plaster cement and fill it up, and it would dry in a little piggy or a little lamb or a little elephant. Yeah. That's what the walls are made out of. Yeah. It's called drywall. Industrial, but it's drywall. But a bit of paper, plaster, and other paper. Yeah. And that's we paint on the paper. But no, the walls are only. These houses are called brick veneer. Right. The veneer is brick. The inside is plasterboard, drywall. In America, it's called drywall.
It's the same thing with mine.
Yeah, but the outside is timber. Outside brick, it's called timber house now.
So something like this building. So outside we see the
Brick veneer. Because there's also double brick.
Yeah.
That's the old-fashioned. Yeah. It's not. The reason the houses were built in Australia in the 20s and 30s out of timber was bricks were dear. On top of which, if you're in an area that gets hot and cold quickly, if the wood is nice, you warm it up quickly, and you can also cool it off quickly. If it was double brick, I remember when I was a kid, these Italians moved it in double brick. That was
with me. Don't worry, I will. Good.
A very good afternoon to you all, ladies and gentlemen. I sincerely hope that today finds you well. On behalf of our incredible vendors, the amazing Sue Kelly-Brown and the fabulous Brittany Brown, my name is Andy. I would like to formally welcome you all to today's event. It is wonderful to see you here. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us your attention in advance. But my gosh, for one of you, this is a tremendous opportunity. What an opportunity here at one of 107 Bogong Avenue in glorious Glen, Waverley. Now, let us firstly wander you through the contract. You'll be pleased to hear it is crystal clear in its nature, as such, is unconditional and has no cooling off period. Path to ownership, rather straightforward in that providing you are the highest bidder over our vendor's reasonable reserve price, we will simply ask you to do two things. Firstly, put pen to paper acknowledging the terms as laid out, and of course pay that slender 10% of the final purchase price. Ownership officially yours in 30 to 60 days, and of course those terms are negotiable, having been alerted to Sue prior to today. Obviously, the land is stated as Lot 1 on Strata Subdivision 002486, Volume 08677, Folio 927, which is known way more simply, thankfully, to you and I as one of 107 Bogong Avenue, England, Waverley. Responsible authority, our great friends at the City of Monash, and the zoning is general residential. Now then, friends, the auction will be done in accordance with Schedule 1 of the Sale of Land Regulations 2014 and any other special conditions that are made available for inspection before the start of this call. The auction rules permit the making of vendor bids on behalf of the vendor, prohibits the making of vendor bids by anybody other than myself, at which point I'll simply say vendor bid. cannot indicate bids upon your kind request. A person cannot falsely claim or acknowledge that he or she made a bid, and the law prohibits a person from hindering bidding or causing a major disruption to the auction. Not that that should be a concern, because all I've seen today are happy, smiley faces. My friends, I may refer the bid to the vendor before the conclusion of the auction. In the event of a dispute, I may resubmit the property for sale again at the last undisputed bid. And I have two more final points that I would love for you to pay attention to. Firstly, cannot accept any bidder offer for the property after it has been knocked down, unless, of course, vendor or successful bidder refuses to sign that contract following the auction. And finally, we at Hardcourt's First Mount Waverley are not in the business of giving property away. Oh, no. So, of course, we've got ourselves a reserve. I'm going to let you know, though, given the opportunity that we have and the state of the market that we are in, I shouldn't see that reserve being of any concern to any of you. Any final questions burning deep inside before we get this one underway? Fabulous. That silence speaks volumes as to the quality of the campaign from Sue and Brittany. Fabulous job, team. Now, whenever I come to a street that has one of the more traditional Aboriginal names, I love looking up to see what it actually stands for, what it actually means. Bogong means big fella, believe it or not. What a fabulous translation. And although we have something that is modest in appearance, but magnificent in value, this big fella right here is more than a solid option for many a purchaser. Be you at the beginning of your buying career or at the end of your tether because you're being bullied by the marketplace, this is the one thing that can end all of your concerns. We're all looking for that perfect platform for progression, right? And this big fella fits the bill most definitely. A private driveway leads to a wonderfully well-maintained abode, providing that blank canvas for you guys to really race ahead with your real estate dreams. But to be honest, and I'm being brutally honest, I get to call auctions in this postcode more often than not on a weekend. I am yet to see value of this sort of nature in this type of locale. It is the creme de la creme of locations, my friends, be it the Glen, the trains, that coveted secondary school zone. It is all very good. My friends, this is the real center that is all that is amazing about our amazing town. So it's time for one of you to join with this big fella, and he's waiting for you with open arms. Friends, all the very best of luck. I'm here to help wherever I can. Who wants to get me started with an opening bidder offer for this wonderful opportunity here on Bogong Avenue? Who wants to get me going? Don't leave this big fella hanging, team. Who wants to get things started with an opening bid? Generally speaking, it's the first people that jump into the fray that generally tend to have the most amount of fun. Setting the bar is a prerogative and a privilege for only one of you. Who wants to take that on? Can totally appreciate the apprehension in the market with buyers right now. It's been a war zone and then some. Totally get it. Totally get it. But what I also get is the fact that if you don't buy now, you will be paying later. Can all but guarantee you that. The state treasurer had the fortune of having lunch with him yesterday, and he said from the horse's mouth, interest rates are not going anywhere for at least a couple of years. At least. So if you don't think that the market's going to continue on its merry way, you'd be sorely mistaken. The whole news, the media thing about JobKeeper, job seeker causing any disruption, well, that's probably not going to do much either because the volume of buyer is just there. We're only just catching up with it now from a stock point of view. And we've not even got going again with immigration. So this is without anybody coming into the state. I think last week we had the stats came out for the first time since like 1916. Population growth in Melbourne went into the negative for the first time since 1916. And the market still moves along. Can you imagine what's going to happen when immigration starts up again? Jeepers. I would not want to be caught in that storm. Opening bid, my friends. I'd rather you guys start it than me. I'm just here to facilitate. I'm not here to take part. Start wherever you wish, team. The motivation of our vendors is without question. And the beautifully presented thing itself, you've got ducted heating, you've got cooling, you've got such a good property that you could easily add value to because of how well maintained our vendors have kept this thing. Just makes sense, gang, on so many levels. Hopefully you weren't driving with your eyes shut and you saw homes, Glen, just next door as you wandered through. It's all very good. Those school zones add hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of value, especially that Glen Waverley one. It is one of the hottest school zones in Victoria. I'd rather get things started with one of you teams. Start wherever you wish. I'll not be offended. Relatively easy to get along with, unless you ask my good lady. Then it's a different story. I'll start it in that sort of mid-6 mark if someone doesn't do it for me. But I'd much rather you guys steal the show. Okay, big team. Here to work with you, but you've got to work with me. It takes two to tango. I'm on one side of this dance floor that we're now allowed to be joined on. 660. Welcome in there, sir. A provocateur, true value at $660,000. There's your opening volley, my friends. Welcome in there, sir. Very smart first move. At 660, there's your opening volley team. Who wants to say 670 or 680 for me? Let's keep it nice and sociable. That's $660,000. Opening volley right down the riddle diddle there. First ball at 660. Bar has been set out in the field, team. Now is the chance for you to jump over. Second chance to dance at 660. And a very, very astute investor here that has set the benchmark at a level that is very appealing to most. Knowing how hot this Glen Waverley pocket is, team, I'm tempted to get the wallet out of the car myself at this sort of level. I don't want to sound like a broken record either, gang, but money's never been so cheap. It is just insane how good money is for you if you're looking to borrow some from one of the big banks, and they're all offering everything under the sun in order for you to make it happen. Third call at 660. Who wants to say 670? Speak now, team. No one wins anything by standing on the sidelines of life. You've got to cross that threshold and get involved. It's very easy to stand on the sidelines and spectate, but ultimately the prizes are won on the field. $660,000 looking for an E. It should be a very straightforward 10K entry fee from here. 660s, win my man in the middle though. All done, finishing away. Surely not. I know the sun's just come out for us all, but it doesn't mean that you guys can just chill out now. Hopefully that should just warm your bidding arms into some action. 660K. Stay with me there, sir. Really appreciate the effort. That's $660,000. Tony is running up and down that hill. Kind of regretting wearing that waistcoat now at $660,000. Last chance to dance at 660. Should be a Mexican wave of hands at that sort of level. 660 is where we sit. It's not going to be where we stay, though. At $660,000. Right, sir. Just me and you dancing. A bit like Cindy Lauper. I think we're alone now. 660. I'm going to go 670. Shift it forward a little bit. Okay, so that's on me.
I would
I'm just going to be a little bit more bullish because we've got some subjective finance advice, but I appreciate it. Want to join in? 680 is the call. $670,000 then, team, on a vendor bid with me now at 670. Throwing it back open to the crowd at $670,000. Vendor bid sits with me, and I've got no problem doing that because of the amount of value that is sat behind me. $670,000, looking for an easy another rise at 10. Once at 670. We're playing for that first right to negotiate, which is worth its weight in gold in a buyer-rich environment. 670 twice. My friends, Sue knows that there is action after the event if we see no better bid. There is. We've had people that have done building inspections. We've had others that have had the contract checked through. Attention is not something that we are shy of here. And I would absolutely hate for any of you to fall into the trap that we see all too often. You play it cool now, and then you end up paying more after the event in a private sale environment where one of two things is guaranteed to happen. You either miss out or you overpay. Both of them happen. You've got a chance to avoid all that right now. 671 twice. 670. Price the call on me on a vendor bid. $670,000. Pat's got the tongue. It looks like at this early stage. We haven't finished just there, though. Team at $670,000. All done before we begun at 670. Look, I'm going to move things forward once more then, team. I hate dancing by myself. Thankfully, my wife took pity on me all those years ago. At 670, I'm going to shift it up just another notch to 690 now, team. We're going to take it to 690 because we know we've got value. We know we've got value at 690. Absolutely, we have. We know. People have told us. Some of you actually told us that there's value beyond this point. Hence why I'm being relatively bullish about the whole thing. This is not a desperation strategy. This is just the reality of things. $690,000 with me now. The vendor bid wants the chance to go. And it's 690. Beautifully well maintained. They've been here for a number of years, but kept it up to speed, meaning that you could have tenants lining down the street should you decide to rent this one out. Second call at 690. Big fella's getting upset. Third call, $690,000 team. Where do we stand? Where do we sit? Gang, you've got to let me know in a bit because otherwise you're going to be putting yourselves into that shark tank of an environment. It's just a private sale environment. Not a nice place to be. The apprehension, I understand, I appreciate, I empathize with it. But it's way more challenging when you have a blindfold on in a private sale environment where you don't know what the other offers are. Here you can do it in complete transparency. For those of you that are looking to get into the market, this is possibly one of the last chances you're going to get to do it at this level in this postcode. Simple as that. I couldn't believe it when I saw the figures. Normally, in this postcode, I'm dealing in figures way higher than this. This is going to be one of the last bastions of value for this postcode, I would say. $690,000 once, twice, thrice at 690. Are we all done? At 690. Right, the team, bear with me. I'm just going to chat to my vendor. Have a think about your next move because chances are it could be the best one you make from a real estate perspective. Bear with me.
60,000. this nobody cares, nobody really wants it now. Only someone that's hoping to get a tube. Someone who's never done it before will get it. And that's the body up against the post. Go with the vest. Go with the vest.
School of Hollywood. This place is we live on 27.
We live in
Where's
that.
your checkbook? Come on, let's have it.
This one, no, because we are renting. We only bought.
It's okay, you can ask you, but
Really nice, not bad. Yes, we can
yeah,
go.
you've got that's even better when they flip the furniture. It'll fit, that looks really, really nice.
We haven't looked inside.
Well, they have,
We didn't live
they
inside.
call it display.
It's very good.
We are renting the sitting.
Second, it's a two bedroom.
Yeah.
Three. It's two bedroom.
Well then, team, my word, have we got an opportunity and is it knocking in a big, big way? We've had a bit of a movement, a bit of a change in tact from our vendor. They have shown a sign of intent that they want to get the deal done today. So this is going to be the story and this is going to be how it plays out from here. I'm going to place one final vendor bid. One. And then now that we need done. From there, we'll be playing for the right to negotiate. And I'm telling you now, team, you win that, chances are you win this property. All you need to do is go even $1,000 over my last vendor bid, and that will be potentially all she wrote. But because we know the value in this place, so we've got no problem doing this because we know we're going to see it happen after the event. My final vendor bid, my friends, is a perfectly reasonable benchmark at 730,000. That is where I sit. That is where I stay, unless we see a better bid. I'm telling you now, team, you ain't going to see this kind of value in this area ever again, I dare say. Ever again. So now, you're in a position where one raise of the hand buys you time, which is the most valuable asset that we have. It's the only thing that's finite. Or you go swimming with the sharks. It's up to you. I know which one I'd rather do. $730,000, my friends, and it is a perfectly reasonable benchmark if you ask me. What's the chance to go at 730? I'm tempted to just call it away now, gang, because we know we've got interest after the event. It's just a statement of fact. Twice at 730. Team. This is where I sound like I am begging a little bit, but it's not for the good of my health. I'll get in the car just fine. It's for your benefit that I implore you to get involved. If you do, you get rid of all of the competition, all of the noise. If you don't, you end up paying a hell of a lot more after the event. Up to you. The window opportunity is firmly ajar. Last chance to dance, my friends. Value last chance is here we come at 730. A 1K offer over the top of that. You can match me at 730 if you really want, and that will win you that right to negotiate with our fabulous vendors who are salt of the year. $730,000. We're happy to look at setting the benchmark there if we see no better bid, because we know we're going to get action after this. So it's up to you whether you stop all that from happening. Up to you, team. Entirely up to you. $730,000.
Yeah, this was originally, there was a road.
This immaculate unit here in Glen, Waverley. Are we done? Finishing away at 730k. We've got a telephone bidder here. I don't know whether he's ordering dinner or whether he's thinking about making a move or whether he's just pretending and he's toying with me. Maybe, who knows? But it's working with whatever he's doing. $730,000 then, team. If we're all done on a vendor bid, setting the bar, this is not passing it in, this is just pressing pause on the process and making sure we get the right amount of money for our vendors. That's exactly what any good agent should be doing in this marketplace. At $730,000, match me or beat me at 713. All done. Hopefully that was Eddie Maguire. Well, hopefully not at this point in time. He's in a bit of bother. All done then, team, at $730,000. We will be setting the bar at that level and saying to you that it is going to be first in best dress at that point or above. You got to get hold of Sue. You got to get hold of Brittany ASAP. On behalf of the team at Hardcourt's First Mount Waverley, my name is Andy. I'd like to thank you all for your attention and your participation. 7:30. There's your benchmark. We'll see you soon. All the best. Thank you.
Oh, that was an interesting one.